Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. If you guys are new, first of all, make sure you hit that sub button. That would be greatly appreciated. Getting into some Madden 20 details. I know these have been out for a little bit now, but I'm just getting around to checking them out. And it looks pretty nice. So they are adding a new career campaign, which is going to be very fun, I do believe. They're adding in college teams, which is going to be a nice addition. And so there's only a couple of schools. I mean, you're not getting every school, but you get to start with 10 college schools to pick from, which I think is going to be cool. And how it's going to start is it says you pick between 10 Division I schools. You fill in the details about your quarterback, you know, what kind of quarterback you want to develop into be, scrambler, maybe a strong arm, West Coast quarterback. You're going to be asked a couple of questions by some scouts, which kind of reminds me of maybe how the MLB career mode works a little bit, where you start off and you get asked a couple of questions. You need to prove yourself a little bit, but the difference here is you get to compete in the college football playoffs, which is going to be pretty sweet. I'm actually excited about that. It says your performance will really increase or decrease your draft stock, which is a cool change there. And then you get to start the combine. So really how you play there is going to affect where you're drafted. Hopefully you can actually be like a number one pick, because that's one of my problems with kind of the MLB is once you get drafted, you really never get drafted really high overall. You're kind of like just an underrated guy trying to work your way up. But I'm hoping that possibly you can be drafted pretty high if you play well. But yeah, it looks like it's going to be a very nice career mode. I'm curious how it's going to work out for different positions. I mean, quarterback definitely is probably going to be different. Running backs, I wonder like how that's going to work out. Maybe receivers, or is this just like a quarterback, you know, franchise here? Typical franchise experience, but your quarterback will be unique to the face of the franchise. So I'm not sure if it is only going to be quarterback career here. I think it may, because that's what is leading to what type of quarterback you want to be. If that's correct and it is only quarterback, that's a bit of a bummer. Bit of a bummer if you can't do a running back there, but I would think that they would let you be able to pick any position. You know, that would be a little rough if they didn't do that. But let's go and hop into some other details. Now, I'd say this is what gets me really hyped. I mean, if you guys didn't know, franchise is definitely my favorite thing to play. I did a franchise for a while this year in Madden 19, but they kind of took it away from me. I mean, it just wasn't good. You know, the gameplay this year just was not good. So if there's one thing Madden 20 needs to do, it needs to work on just you against the AI. That's hugely important, because that's a lot of what I do, or what I like to do. I wasn't able to do it much this year, but it's one of my favorite things to do. So they need to work on the AI a lot. But this gives me hopes. I mean, so as you guys can see, there's Superstar X Factors, and it looks like it's going to be pretty cool. So it says, next up, let's go over a few details about the Superstar X Factors. In total, there will be around 50 Superstar X Factor players, with over 30 additional superstar players. The difference between the two are zone abilities and superstar abilities. Zone abilities are about your style of play and your opponent's style of play. If you want to get Mahomes in the zone, you will need to adjust the style of play to help him meet that objective to get him in the zone. So what I think that means is, of course, you know, Kansas City is more of a passing team. So if you go out and maybe get a running back, which is a need they possibly could go after, and you want to pound the ball, that's really not going to help him enter the superstar zone. So, I mean, if you're passing bombs like he does, 6 touchdowns a game, just blowing defenses apart, I think that's going to help you enter his superstar zone. I think that's a very cool addition they're adding. And then, so if your play style, if your play style is to run the ball, you won't have a high chance of meeting that objective. It will be harder or easier to activate these. Competitive is different than sim. I'm really just concerned about sim. That's really what I always play on. In total, there will be over 20 zone abilities for 50 Superstar X Factor players and over 140 Superstar abilities. Each game, you will see and feel the difference of these special traits. So I'm really excited about that. It doesn't really get into a whole lot of what the traits are, like maybe you're clutch, maybe you don't miss passes that you would normally miss, say, the first quarter. So I'm thinking like maybe it's probably not going to happen right away. Maybe first half you get on fire towards the third and fourth quarter. maybe you just don't miss passes. Like every pass you throw is going to be on the money, so it's going to be up to your receiver maybe to potentially do that. And I'm curious to see how that works out for running backs as well. Like Dallas specifically, Ezekiel Elliott is going to be one of those superstar players. So, like, is he going to have to run for touchdowns, run for rushing yards to activate his superstar stuff? I don't know yet, but it sounds really exciting. And it's definitely sounding like they're making changes to franchise, which I really hope they do. I mean, that's what we're going to get into in the second part of this video. We checked out some of the Madden 20 stuff. Now I want to get into some of the stuff I feel like they need to improve. One of the things they need to improve above everything for me is, if you guys don't know, I am a pure franchise player. That is what I started out doing. I know I do a lot of rebuilds and stuff, and I do enjoy those, but I love playing franchise mode. And it just was unplayable towards the end of the year. I mean, your block shedding when you were getting after the CPU quarterback was garbage. You couldn't get off blocks to save your life. I mean, the CPU had all the time in the world, and they still weren't making the right decisions. They need to work on AI quarterback. The play of the AI quarterback is just disgusting right now in Madden 19. Let's be honest here. I mean, they'll start scrambling out to the left. I mean, just weird things like that. They need to get fixed to where they're tuned, where they play well. I mean, they play like an actual quarterback. So I'm hoping that's something they're working on. I know they really like to work on that competitive stuff, but I'm hoping this will be a year for the franchise players. Finally, I mean, we deserve it. It's been a hot minute since they've done a lot to really improve franchise at all. So I'm hoping this is maybe a step in the right direction. And we'll go ahead and get into some of the stuff that I do want to improve. I'll show you a quick clip here and show you what I'm talking about. So this is a perfect example of what needs to be fixed in Madden 19. I'm playing in Seattle here. San Francisco is going to run the ball, and that just can't happen. So Jerick McKinnon is running, and then he jukes to the left when he has a wide open lane to the end zone. I know that guy sheds off his block, Shaquem Griffin does, but I mean, that's an easy touchdown. It's just little things like that can actually just ruin the experience. I mean, that's just the truth of it. Like, that's a touchdown right there. And that's a lot of the times why it's very easy to take advantage of the CPU. Just little things like that they need to take care of. Ball carrying vision is a huge thing, though. The CPU's run game this year was garbage. Just going to go over some of my old gameplay here. This isn't actually me talking in it. It's just some old gameplay. Just so you guys have something to watch while I continue to tell you guys what I think needs to be addressed. I already said quarterback AI. That's an obvious one. I mean, really wasn't good this year. We just seen the running back ball carrying vision is a huge step that needs to be taken care of. I mean, that's got to get taken care of. It really does. That was bad. That was a real bad one right there with the Jerick McKinnon one, and that happens far too often. It really does. Happens way often. I'd also say getting after the quarterback, the CPU quarterback, is very tough. A lot of the times your guys will just stand there like they can't move off, I'd say 70 overall offensive lines. I was currently playing a franchise just testing it out, and I had Cameron Jordan, I had Melvin Gordon, I had Gerald McCoy, and I had DJ Reader, who isn't a great pass rusher, but altogether we had a nasty defensive line. I'm going against a 70 overall offensive line, literally. There's not a person above a 70 overall, and my guys are just getting pancaked. I mean, they can't move. So that's got to get fixed. You can't give the quarterback AI that much time in the pocket, but again, it's not like they do anything great with that time in the pocket. That's why they need to fix that. I'm just hoping this year, they really address some of those franchise needs. I don't know. I know went on a bit of a ramble here about it, but let me know what you guys think about what they need to address this Madden. Because I think this Madden 19 was by far one of the worst Maddens. There was a lot of issues, and really none of them got fixed. The patches made it worse where you needed to address it with sliders on top of sliders on top of freaking sliders. There was just no answer for it. There really wasn't. I'm currently trying to play a franchise just on my own, and it's not fun. I mean, it's just not fun. That's the truth of it. So they need to address that. There's also some things they need to address, like where I'm doing my rebuild. You guys see I have struggle where I get like 99 overall God squads and can't seem to win a Super Bowl to save my life. But my main concern is franchise, because I do want to make those videos. Those are some of my favorite videos to make. But let me know what you guys thought about these new Madden 20 details that dropped, and some of the things you think they need to address in this Madden 20 coming up here. If any of the things I said is what you think they need to address, let me know. And if you have any other thoughts on it, let me know down in the comment section below. And I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.